ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Xbox the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Mateo, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How are you, Alice?
Hi, my pronouns are she, they, and I think today is just going to be interesting of some sort. But today we're just going towards the Easter weekend, so thought we'd just bring ourselves a pretty interesting episode. But
I'm really looking forward to actually talking about Xbox this week. It felt dirty talking about PlayStation last week. I felt like I need, I need to go back to the good side.
Well,
even as an April Fool's joke, talking about PlayStation for 3 hours was a bit of a. It was a bit weird, to be fair.
Yeah. So
I'll show you the sin.
But we certainly made milestones. It's the longest podcast could well be because it's dangerously close to 2 hours. But then it's pretty much short compared to in PS We Trust.
Yes, I mean that was the thing because we had Phil from In PS We Trust, and so having him as our first ever guest increased the length of our episode to a more of an In PS We Trust kind of length of episode. Saying that, if we had Davey, he is the king of monologues, so watch out if we have Davey on the channel. The podcast will probably be about 5 hours long. Just gonna put that out there.
So yeah, what kind of monologues does he do? Is it talking about things of some sort and not talking with others?
Yeah, if he's got a good opinion also. It sounds like I'm having a go at him. I really enjoy his discussion. It's just basically he's very informed about stuff, and then if he has an opinion about something, he will go into great detail about why it's a certain way. And it's interesting, but I'm just saying, it's it makes their podcast 5 hours long. Which I enjoy their podcasts a lot, but it's we try to aim for about an hour, between an hour and 2 hours. Our podcast is the goal.
We definitely needed a break. Anyway, it's just I mean, I'm good at monologues because it just means I can put it in my YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a good way of doing it. I'm kind of jealous of his style because, I do the Potato Pro Wrestling channel, which is my wrestling channel, which I do that on my own. So I do videos where I basically talk at the camera nonstop. And my limit is usually about 10, 15 minutes before I kind of get fatigued and can't think of anything else to say. So I have lots of videos of me just talking directly at the camera and talking to people. My lighting's being weird today. There we go.
Must be the way.
Yeah, I just. Yeah. So also, I wanted to mention, speaking of my YouTube channel, I recently purchased this with recommendations from Alice and El Gato. So I should be recording some gameplay footage soon. So all the gameplay footage you see on this channel is either caught directly from Xbox using the share button, or Alice has recorded it. But now I'll be able to record stuff, so we'll have hopefully have extra footage for stuff on the channel, hopefully. I don't know what yet. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Probably WWE stuff, mainly, because I have a wrestling channel, as I said previously. I'm really looking forward to using it. Also wanted to mention the fact that we've just hit 80 subscribers on here, so I'm really appreciating that. And my wrestling channel's at 4,750 subscribers, so yay. If I get 5,000 subscribers on my wrestling channel and 100 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, I'll be very, very happy. That should be our goal. I hope we can do that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed.
Just subscribe.
Yeah.
We're new. We need help. We're still small. We're still a little tiny podcast. We need help.
Yeah. Anyway, I would also like to mention that the PlayStation thing, I have to say, is still one of the best episodes we did, because not only we have Phil as the first guest, who he's got a powerful microphone. It's so good. Inspires me, in fact.
Beautiful.
But we also did a Resident Evil 4 review. I had a bunch of fun editing it. And I've also been doing best PlayStation games of each generation. It's PlayStation 1 all the way to PlayStation 5.
Yeah, if you're a fan of PlayStation at all, it's worth is worth listening to. Speaking of Resident Evil 4 Remake, I've been playing that this week. I don't know if we're going to go into what we've been playing in a minute, but yeah.
Let's just set the queue now. What have we been playing?
Yeah, I last night, 3:00 this morning, I finished Resident Evil 4 Remake. Love it. Such a good game. It's my favorite Resident Evil of all time.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 Original was my favorite of all time, and now this one's took over. I love it. It's such a good game. I really enjoyed it. I'm on my second playthrough, and I'm still playing it. I'm still enjoying it. So much fun. I love it. It's a really fun game. Yeah, highly recommend it. If you like your action more than your horror, then this is right up your street. I'm not a huge fan of scary horror games. I like action horror, and this is right up my street. This one, I love the campy, like over the top, cheesy lines. I love that stuff. Like, oh, it's so good. Where's everyone going? Bingo is still like one of my favorite lines. Highly recommend this game. I'm wearing I'm on my second run now. I've got a suit with like a top hat, and I got like sunglasses, and it looks really silly, and it's brilliant, and I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, before we go on to the game we shared about like playing it, we also been doing I've been playing the gunk mainly to get the challenges for the, I think it's the Microsoft Awards card for the International Women's Day. And some of these games I haven't touched or didn't think I can get achievements that easily. But the only one on the list I can do is the gunk. It's pretty much a simple game, and it's a bit of a platformer, and that involves like using the vacuum cleaner to suck up all that gunk. It's a bit like Blinks.
It's made by the people.
It's a bit like Blinks minus the time controls.
Yeah, it's made by the people who made the SteamWorld series, SteamWorld Dig and all that, I think, if I remember correctly. That I saw that challenge, International Women's Day. I played Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and I played Plague Tale Requiem, and I got multiple achievements, but I never got the challenge. It bugged for me, I guess. It didn't work for me. I don't know what I did wrong.
I got it.
You need to get 3 achievements, right? Yeah, I didn't get it. I don't know what's going on. It's gone now, isn't it? It's a different challenge now. But yeah,
superheroes.
I did it. I did all of them. I don't understand why I didn't get the achievements. Very annoyed.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, I think it's just Microsoft really, because I've been waiting the 10,000 gamer points challenge to come back, and last time it came up about like 2 years ago. It's like some people haven't even got a challenge and have been having problems getting gamer score for the points. But I've been like saving up all those easy to complete games for the challenge and hasn't got back anyway. Nice. But I've been saving up a gunk for a while. But then I realised I got the Women's Day challenge to do, so I played the gunk, and that's what I got. So that's what I got.
I've never played it. I've heard it's supposed to be quite good, though. I need to go around and play that.
Very straightforward.
Yeah.
It's just more like a platform as you expect on the PlayStation 2. So a bit like Sly Cooper or some sort, only it's got Blinks effect.
I think we should recommend to people as well is if you have a backlog of games, is anything you want to play, now is the time to play it. Because next week onwards, it's going to get crazy. Because I think we got Ghostwire Tokyo next week, and then we have Minecraft Legends the week after that, and then a couple of weeks after that we have Redfall, and it's just basically non-stop big games then, basically until the end of the year, I think, pretty much, which is going to be great.
But at the same time,
get your backlog sorted now.
Well, actually, there's a bunch of good games leaving Game Pass too, where there's only like about 5, but Life is Strange True Colors is leaving Game Pass, and I think there's a few other things, but Quantum Break is going to leave Game Pass as well, which is Microsoft's 8th title.
Yeah, that was controversial. People were very up in arms about that, but apparently it's some kind of legal thing. I think it might be like music or like copyright or something. So they have to remove it for now until they can get the rights sorted for it. But apparently they said it will be coming back once they figured out all the legal stuff. I do hate that. Like Forza Horizon gets like all the Forza games get delisted and stuff because they lose their licenses to the cars after like 3 years and stuff like that. I hate that always happens with certain games. It's very frustrating.
Especially
I'm a huge fan of game preservation, you know.
Especially racing games, really, because there's like Out1 2006 edition, which I got a PlayStation 3, which you can no longer download, I think.
No.
And same can be with the Daytona USA that's on Xbox 360. That got delisted as well.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 3, I bought the Australia version. I bought that. That's no longer available. I've got that saved on my hard drive so I can play it if I really want to go back to it at some point. That's
so it's not exactly down under, though, isn't
it? Yeah. So yeah, we got off topic a little bit. So what we've been playing, we've both been playing Vampire Survivors as well, haven't we?
Yes. When you said about like got all the achievements in that, I was like,
yeah, I was about to say.
That's cool. And I thought I was like prepare for the DLC, which is coming out in April the 13th.
Yeah, I was gonna say no one. So this is the first time I mentioned it on the podcast. I've 100% Vampire Survivors. Woo! That was my New Year's resolution or gaming resolution was 100% this game. We're 4 months into the year and I finally did it. And then I was like so excited, so happy. And then the day I got all the achievements, they announced they're bringing out another DLC. So that's another load of achievements for me to unlock. Like, God damn it. Back to square one. I'm still looking forward to playing it, though. I'm looking forward to playing the new DLC when it comes out, for sure. Love Vampire Survivors.
Well, in the same week, I completed all the achievements in it. I did have a start on some of the DLC achievements. But I know there's achievements like you have to survive for 15 minutes with the rest of the DLC characters, as well as killing 100,000 enemies as you be or some sort. I don't know.
Yeah. It's quite easy when you get the hang of it. When you stack certain stuff. What I would always use is when you get arcade mods, you use this thing called Mad Groove, which basically makes all the items spawn to you every 2 minutes. And that really helps. Like you're basically invincible.
Yes.
You can literally leave the controller down. When you get to a certain point, you can put the controller down and just leave it running in the background, and you'll still be alive. That's how broken it is. I love it.
Well, actually, before I get to this point, because I have some relevant stat. Well, actually, yeah, I can say that I got really addicted to it, and you said that you put the controller down. It did a few times because I got one of the secret characters known as Big Trouser, and I started to go for a minute ago to grind my character out so I can get lots of gold and then getting some golden eggs. So I've been doing that, trying to press repeatedly my thumb to get eggs and trying to rescue myself to get carpal tunnel syndrome and. And then I just got more powerful, went into the bait zone to get more gold. And that's what I've been doing even last night, where I just got the Big Trouser, get to the bunch of one weapon and a few items, and just leave the controller down and absorb so many gold that I got into millions of gold.
Love it. That's this game is so good.
I then went into I just got so many golden eggs, over 5,000, and then I got over a million, which I then get into Moon Godolo, that I just went up and found out there's an Eggman, which is a golden version of Big Trouser, and basically you can. It gives you an option to either buy a gold egg, or you spend all your money at once to get as many gold eggs as you get, even if you're a decimal. So that really helped me, saves my thumbs. And then there's another character there that if you go down below the starting point, you can also have the option to either remove 100 golden eggs or reset your move speed. Because I found if you have so many gold eggs, you end up getting so fast you can collect chests. So both of these characters helped my sanity. So eventually...
I need to look at that. I haven't done that yet. I need to do that. I haven't got all the golden eggs yet.
Well, you can get loads of them, because in the moment for Big Trouser, you can get over 100,000 golden eggs for the character. and it's
That's a
pretty
lot.
much enough to get millions of gold in just like 2 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, anyone who hasn't played Vampire Survivors, we talk about it every week because we love it. It's essentially you just get more and more powerful in this game, and once you get to the point where we're at, it's essentially like a god. You basically kill hundreds of enemies in within seconds. It's amazing. We're both obsessed with it. We've both. So I guess, as you just said, you've done all the achievements now. So we've both done all the achievements, which is really like there's 169 achievements on this game. So we've both got a bit.
No, it's what is it? Because it says like 162 according to the collection.
Oh, it's 162. I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong. There's a lot of achievements.
But yeah, I also like to mention that there's a bunch of achievements where you complete the certain characters for 15 minutes each. I got a bit found it a bit difficult with a couple of the characters, but I think the Mad Grave, as you suggested, really helped, and then eventually found a way to get 100,000 enemies with the remaining characters. But yeah, I just got all the achievements, and I've been grinding in order to get loads of golden eggs, so I can get enough money to get more golden eggs over to the new DLC characters.
Nice. I mean, so if you want to know my strategy, my strategy with Vampire Survivors is I'll start off with Mad Groove, then I'll speak to the merchant guy and buy another arcane. So then I'll get the tiramisu, so I get extra respawns, extra healths, and then I'll try and collect fill my bars with items at the top, because when you get like the items on the map can be added on top. So you have a limit of 12 items, but if you get 12 items and then collect the stuff that's on the map, that also gets added on. So you can have like 18, 20 items, and it like breaks the game. And you just want to try and memorize as many combinations as you can, and have good combinations of items as well. So don't just get random stuff. Try and figure out what items go well with each other, and that's the best way to do it. I love that game so much. Vampire Survivors it was Alice's game of the year. It was my second place game of the year last year, behind Elden Ring. It won our XMB award for best game to play till 3:00 in the morning. Whatever one did it win? But most underrated game, I think it was one of the awards. We love this game so much. It won a load of awards for us. It's a masterpiece. Definitely check it out. And the DLC's coming in 2 weeks. I'm very excited to get back into it. Definitely.
So a couple of other things before we move on. Been playing the Game Boy games on the Switch. Been playing Burger Time Deluxe. It's really interesting.
You love Burger Time.
Sorry?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Oh, I thought you said. I said you love Burger Time, but then I realised I was getting that confused with Pizza Tower. That's what you love Pizza Tower, but Burger Time, Pizza Tower, totally different things.
Yeah, totally different things. But anyway, yeah. So basically, I play the Burger Time, which basically involves going through the ingredients and stacking into burgers and make sure you avoid enemies. So it's a bit like Donkey Kong in a way, but I think it's just like really interesting, I have to say. But then I just dipped my fingers into Kirby's Dream Land 2. It's alright. If you enjoy Kirby's Adventure, then it's worth it. And I've also been playing Super Mario Land 2. And I have to say, this is still like one of the best Game Boy games ever made. To me, Link's Awakening DX is still the best Game Boy game for me. And I think the color version of it, DX, is just perfection. I have yet to complete the Nintendo Switch version, the remaster of the game.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's up there. That's one of my favorite Game Boy games. I'd still say Pokemon's my favorite Game Boy game, but that would be a close second or third for sure. Definitely need to go back and play that. For sure. I need to do that.
And also, I'd like to also mention about Halo Infinite, because I played more games, but it's only like a few matches, and now I'm just like got bored of it. Well, I'm not bored of it. It's just I don't really have a lot of purpose, because I already got the pass to about a level 100, and I've also been playing games to get the challenges. Then I just went into like the shop. I've been keep checking there, but I think it's just like now it's just getting less and less interesting every week. And the Evercharge game cosmetics with it, it's going to be like that. Yeah. And I think it's just what distances me from the shop, because last week there's packages where there's a huge pack where it's like a wetted zebra coating, armor coating for a Spartan.
And it just always reminds me of the Angry Joe quote where he goes like, $10 for blue, $10? Are you out of your freaking mind? That just always makes me think of that whenever that comes out.
Well,
you're charging $10 for the color blue.
Well, speaking of which, you get a black and white Siglat. I think it was crisscross lines on the 5 weapons for like 1,200 credits. And if you thought paying 1,400 for coating for each and every weapon and armor core in the game is expensive, look no further than the one that shows like there's a stripe pattern of like a zebra, like it's white and black, which I thought it looks cool with the orange, but there's no way I'm paying that much for like 5 coatings.
No, I agree.
You can't get it on like any others. There's another package, just like, oh, it's a yellow and blue coating. It's got like digital things as weapon effects or armor effects. But I thought, really? Not that special, really. I think there's gains on our more vibrant armor coatings, but to be honest, this week, or even last week, has got me really interested in buying them, because you now like pay more to have more of the same coating across different models, and it just seems like, well, you want cross-core coating? Well, screw you. You can just buy one coating for as many weapons as you want. And
they said they were going to fix that. They still haven't done it. It's baffling to me. We're in season 3 now. They've still not fixed that issue. I don't understand it. They said they were going to change it.
Well,
what are you doing 343?
That's not a bug. It's a feature for cross-core.
No, I'm not saying it's a bug. I'm saying they said they were going to get rid of that feature. They were going to just have cores be cross-compatible. They said they were going to do that months ago, and they still haven't done it.
Last year, more like.
Yeah, but money! We want money!
You know what the real problem is? Settings still being reset. My video on it, which is like still like really hastily done, it's already getting people's views and comments on it, and you can already tell this is still a stupidly bad problem, and 343 is still investigating it. So, and I think it's already testing people's patience, and it won't be long until season 3 goes from a high all the way down to.
Yes, I love Halo Infinite. It's such a good game, to play, but there's like the microtransactions and stuff really are off-putting. I've not finished the battle pass yet. I need to go back and finish it. I'm about level 35, so I need to go back and finish it. I'm trying to take my time with it, really, but
nothing really happened this week, really, because the only thing interesting is the weekly challenge, where you can get this like a special texture of grey stones with the red bits of it's a coating for the sniper rifle, and it's got a green visors on it, so it's there if you want to raise your battle pass again, provided you complete all 10 challenges.
I might do that later this week, but yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Who news at Xbox O'Clock?
Fantasy League, baby. We've been talking about, so we've been doing our Fantasy Critics League. You wanted to do an update on it, so I filled my team. My team is full. I have no more slots available.
So yeah, what we got here is that's right. You already filled up the list. So you got Dr. Fetus's
I filled my team now. Yeah,
Mean Meat Machine. I think that's a follow up to Super Meat Boy. Is it?
It's Super Meat Boy. Yeah, so it's a Super Meat Boy, and it's like. So when you got Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you had Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine. So
30
So
years
this
ago.
is Dr. Fetus's, yes, this is Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine, which is also a Puyo Puyo like type game, but in the Super Meat Boy universe. So I thought it was a really cool parody of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Machine. I thought that was a really cool idea to do a parody of that. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy it. The fact that their game has got Dr. Fetus in the title is a bit weird. It's a bit weird. But yeah, I picked that up, and that's my last game on my team now. I'm hoping that I can drop Metro Prime 4 if it doesn't come out, or Avowed if it doesn't get, like some of the games that I've got. I'm hoping I can drop a couple so I can buy a couple new ones later on in the year. But we'll have to see how that. I don't know how it works really.
Yeah. So how does drop a game work?
I'm not sure. I think you could just drop any game as long as it's like not like come out essentially or about to come out. I think. So I basically Metro Prime. So I'm looking at my list: Metro Prime 4, Stalker 2, Sinuous Saga, Hellblade 2, and Avowed. I'm thinking maybe none of those come out this year. That's like 4 games on my list I need to get rid of really, and then buy something new to fill the gap in. So I picked up Resident Evil 4 Remake. That's got a 92 critic, 24 points I got from that, so I did quite well with that. That was a good pick. I'm on 61 points, so are the PlayStation guys. You're falling behind 41, but then you do have less games than us. And I think you're relying on the second half of the year, I think.
Yeah. I know E3's gone, so I don't know if we get any more, but they could bring up some surprises. So I think, like from June, it's going to be a huge year for me, huge time for me, because it just means I can find games I can add to the list, provided that they got like release dates.
So I think Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that's going to be a good point. That's going to be a high scoring game for you. I think that probably will. Suicide Squad. I'm a bit worried about. We've already postponed that a little bit. That's a bit of a worry. Yeah.
Actually,
but you might still get good points for it.
I think I might drop Suicide Squad. Actually, kill the Justice League. Make drop game request. And it's official. Made a drop request and see if it gets processed. And if it happens...
Yeah, you'll have to let me know on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, once it pops up, I'll let you know, of course.
So the PS3 Trust guys have got Forspoken's a -3, and they had Crime Boss Rockay City, which is a -15. But apart from that, the rest of them have been pretty good. I'm shocked. The Last of Us Part 1 PC... They got 15 points for that. Apparently, it's broken on PC. Like it doesn't even run properly on PC. Yeah, it's still got an 85 Metacritic, even though it's apparently doesn't work on PC. Like, I've watched a load of videos of people like criticizing it, saying it's worse than like Cyberpunk when it released. Apparently, it's like super buggy and glitchy. And I see loads of glitches. So I'm shocked it's got an 85. I'm actually kind of shocked by that.
That's kind of a bit ridiculous anyway. It's just like saying, oh, maybe you can trust the critics or you trust the game. So, I mean, right now, Super Mario Brothers movie at the moment has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 55%, but people are actually enjoying it. So, I think this is going to be the case where, it's just whether you're going to trust the critics or you trust the people who actually play the game. Like Cyberpunk 77's been like praised a lot, but only if you speak to the people, they may actually enjoy it. But I think the majority of people are thinking, "Oh, this is broken as crap."
Do you think The Last of Us gets protected by like the media? Because I kind of feel that way. Like I feel like they can do no wrong in the media's eyes. Say like they will, like The Last of Us Part 1 is broken. They remade The Last of Us Part 1, even though that didn't need to be remade. And nothing bad ever comes out of the press. Like this game is broken, yet they haven't mentioned it at all on all these press websites like IGN and stuff. It's weird to me. that they can release a broken game like this and it doesn't get any criticism. It's kind of a bit strange.
Then let me tell you, after years of experience, Chief.
Yeah, listen.
The press is biased. They're always that opinionated to go into more hypercritical things just to influence public opinion, which somehow doesn't always represent the actual truth. They just rather like make a twist on it. So when it comes to Last of Us, I think they have been praising it so much that they just feel as if they're giving it some kind of toxic positivity.
Yeah, I think it's getting to that point. Like, it's like it feels like the consumers hate a lot of customers hate The Last of Us Part 2 and some of The Last of Us, and a lot of them, and then the press love it. It's really weird. It's one of those. It's like, yeah.
Yes,
I didn't like Part 2. I liked Part 1, but I didn't like Part 2.
No.
If you say anything bad about the Part 2, you get called like sexist or like homophobic or whatever for not liking it, which is ridiculous because there's nothing to do with that.
Blimey.
It's to do with the plot being awfully written. Anyway, I don't want to go into a rant about The Last of Us 2 because I've done that multiple times in multiple podcasts.
Yeah, so we brought up about speaking of E3, the E3 is now dead. So what happened then?
Bye. It's dead. So years ago, Nintendo were like, we're going to do our Nintendo Direct instead of a press conference. So we will be at E3, but not. They're going to be there digitally. Then PlayStation pulled out, saying we're not going to do it at all. And then Xbox was the last one standing. And then we had COVID. And then Jeff Keighley started his Summer Game Fest. And now Xbox have gone, oh, you know what? We can't be bothered either. And then Ubisoft pulled out. And then basically it's just gone. It's sad to me. I mean, I used to love E3 week was like my favorite week of the year. I basically have the week off like school or like work or whatever and just chill and watch video game trailers all day. It's like, oh, whoa, what games are coming to PlayStation? What games are coming to Xbox? What games are coming to Nintendo? Like, what games are coming to Ubisoft? Oh, I can't wait. And you'd always have like the really bad press conferences, but then you'd also get the occasional really good ones. And yeah, it's sad. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it, to be honest. But it does feel a bit of like prehistoric now. It does feel like it's kind of out of date, out of touch. Charging £1 million for floor space is ridiculous.
Well,
they're charging people £1 million just to put their stuff in the floor. It's insane.
Well, you did say this like prehistoric. It only started in 1995, and before that, it was electronic conferences.
Yeah, that's fair. And now we got stuff like PAX and stuff, which is a bit more for like the consumers. And you have Gamescom, which is also like it's got like double the amount of people go to Gamescom than the E3. So there's lots of alternatives. So I feel like E3 they were like overcharging like companies to be there, and then the companies have just gone, you know what, we'll just do a digital event and we won't pay you any money. And it's kind of backfired, so that's pretty much what's happened. Like even Xbox, Xbox were at E3, but they were in a building next to E3, but not actually in E3. They had their own like facilities, so they didn't really go to E3. They were just like nearby, and they just had their event on at the same time. Yeah, I'm gonna miss having a press conferences to look forward to every day, but I suppose it's better this way. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like the shotgun approach of having 3-4 days with every single company showing off their games, or do you prefer drip feeding? You'll get a Nintendo Direct this month, and then next month you'll get an Xbox Developers Direct, and then next month you might get a PlayStation Showcase. Like, do you prefer? Which do you prefer? Spread out or like condensed?
I like the format of E3 where you have all the conferences, but then you have all this applause and then you can't really tell if the consumers like it. But of course, there's one point of Bethesda where people booed the Labo mobile thing or some sort like that.
Oh yeah, I think that was BlizzCon, wasn't it? It's like it goes, he goes, "Is this some kind of practical joke?" He goes, "Well, do you not have mobile phones?" And it's like, it's like, "Don't you have mobile phones?" And then it turns out Diablo Immortal is complete and utter crap, and it's like it's just a cash grab. Diablo 4 is supposed to be really good. I haven't played the beta. I wish I played the beta now. Everyone who played the beta was saying it's amazing, but I'm just like, I'm gonna hold out and I'm gonna hope the Xbox get Activision and we get it for free. I'm just just holding out hope for it to get it on Game Pass. That's all I'm hoping for, you know.
Well,
Robbie, what was your favorite E3 moment?
Well,
do you have a favorite E3 moment?
I still need to answer the rest of your other question, and I think the trouble is you have to like stay up all night in order to see the conferences, and also I know there's some really good moments, and it gives you all the trailers there, but I think the trouble is that maybe the change is that we have to get used to the now Nintendo Direct style trailers and stuff that happens all the year. But the good thing of E3 is that everything's all condensed into this one event, which you could say is a gaming Christmas. So it comes up with some trailers and bits like that. So I think in some ways E3 is really good, and I like that format. But we still have to allow a change to this whole format. So yeah, But I think, to be honest, I really enjoy the Nintendo conferences before they went Nintendo Direct. But I think, to be honest, a lot of the Xbox conferences in the recent years have been like really very special.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the new Xbox conferences. I was going to also mention like E3. So I have my Potato Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, which I've been doing for 10 years. And I started off doing video game like Let's Plays and stuff. My first reaction videos were all E3 stuff, and that's what really got my channel growing. I do have a soft spot in my heart for like E3 content, because that's how I really got into YouTube and really gave me the confidence to be on camera and to talk about stuff and to do reactions. Was due to E3 essentially. So I mean, I do have a soft spot in my heart for those games. I definitely like that was the year with Shadow of the Colossus remake and Monster Hunter World being announced and all these like really amazing games like Metro Prime 4.
Yes.
Metro Prime 4. My video of me just screaming. So it does have a special part in my heart. I will always be nostalgic for E3. Will I miss it? Yes, probably I will, but I kind of guess this is how it's got to go. I mean, I'm a bit gutted I never got to go to an E3. I would have loved to have gone to one. Like, you know, like it's like the gaming mecca, isn't it? Like, you know, if you're a massive gaming fan, you want to go to E3 at least once in your life.
Well,
I missed the opportunity.
If the E3 is around still, then it will be more difficult for me because of what's happening recently with political stuff. Now it's just like some parts of the USA. Are they safe for me or not? And it's just like, well, I think the E3 is like situated in one of the safer areas, but I think it's becoming more obvious that going through travel is not going to be any safer. So I would say just swallow the Direct because the world is on fire.
The world's on fire. That's depressing, but true. The world is on fire.
We didn't start the fire.
So I was going to say what I was saying about our favorite E3 memories. So for me, like my favorite thing ever was the trailer for Halo 3. Just the original trailer for Halo 3 with Master Chief walking out. It still gives me goosebumps. I'll watch that trailer back every now and again. I'll still get chills down my arm. So this is the way the world ends, and then you'll have the music kicking in.
Yes, really.
And it's like just chills. It's like I was like, finish the fight. It's just so good. It's like my favorite trailer ever, and I still get chills looking back at it every time I watch that trailer. Also, special mention to Keanu Reeves. That was hilarious and brilliant at the same time. You're breathtaking.
Well, my favorite memory remains as this. because I haven't really remembered the other good memories of E3, but it still remains to be when the PlayStation, like Saturn's been like trying to promote their console and get it released, and they said there's going to be like this price. Then PlayStation comes in, does a conference, and just says $2.99 and walks off.
Then walks off. So funny. I love that one. That was brilliant. Yeah,
and that's a bit I want to, because back then I was like a huge Sega fan, not like into E3 stuff. And I was like stuck between Saturn or PlayStation or Nintendo 64. Went for Sega Saturn. Yeah. But it still remains that with Sony being new in the field and almost got a disc drive for the Super Nintendo, for them to be able to like go back at Sega and even have a more solid launch, because I think the thing is Sega's being really desperate to even like force 3D technology into their Saturn. And I think it's just one of those moments that solidified Sony's position in the games industry. I was a bit skeptical when I saw that, but now Sony is one of the biggest publishers of games like around. Well, hardware publishers,
Unfortunately. Oh. What's going on? So he just came up on my. That was weird. But literally, audio just blared in through my headphones. I don't know what it was. Weird. Yeah, sorry. So I was going to mention the fact that there's so many good moments in E3. Like the first time we saw Twilight Princess and everyone lost their mind, and then Shigeru Miyamoto came out with a shield and swords, and I go. That was hilarious and brilliant. Or the one where in the Ubisoft conference where they showed the guy who's making Mario plus Rabbids, and he's like sitting, like Miyamoto like talked to him, and he was like crying, like because he was so honored to be making a Mario game. It's like there's like so many good moments like that. Metroid Prime 4, the Super Smash Brothers Everybody's Here trailer. And like just the announcement of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in general. Like there's so many fantastic trailers and stuff. Mega Man being in Super Smash, Solid Snake being in Super Smash, all these crazy trailers and stuff throughout the years. The guy, I love the one where it's like, do you know what the bottom of a Xbox avatar's foot looks like? And the guy's using like the webcam, he gets his foot and goes, whoop, bam! There it is! There's the underfoot. Like, what?
Yeah.
Whoop, bam! I just like remember adding like all the really cringy Connect stuff always makes me laugh. Like Project Milo and stuff. Oh my god, cringe. It was so cringe. It was so cringe, it was funny. Yeah, and I got to mention it, even though it's kind of the worst moment in Xbox history, probably, but the best in PlayStation. It's just we won't have used game, like we will let you use used games, and like this is how you use games on PlayStation, and then like being £100 cheaper than the Xbox One and all this stuff. It's like, damn. That really was the turned Xbox to what it is now. Though I feel like they needed that kick in the backside to kind of. Like Don Matrick needed to go. He's useless.
Well, back then, you did make reactions. The PlayStation's more positive, and then you just made mocked with the Xbox.
Oh yeah, I was really anti-Xbox at the beginning of the Xbox One generation. I'm not gonna lie, and that was because of Don Matrick and because of the Always Online and because of the Kinect and all that shite. But I still in my heart love Xbox, and I always did. Xbox 360 is my favorite console of all time.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Look inside special packs of Kellogg's Frosties, and you'll find yourself in the world of Nintendo!
There are 12 sets of cards and stickers to collect, and by rubbing off the silver dots, there's a chance to win one of 46,000 prizes!
So if you're into Nintendo, why not get into Kellogg's Frosties? They're great!
We now return to the Transformers.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call. I need to take a personal phone call, and I just took it. So I'm sorry about that. But I'm back, and we're here to talk more about the news. So, Western Digital are making Xbox expansion cards. Hallelujah! Thank you, God above. Thank you, whoever our higher power is, if there is one. We like Western Digital. Finally, so the expansion cards for Xbox have been like 200 quid since launch.
Yes.
They're about the price of a Series S, and I've wanted one, but I'm not paying £200 for one. So the fact that we actually get competition in this space means hopefully the prices will go down. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
And
I think there was some like or some sort adapters where you can put NVMe cards into it. But I think it's just more of a case that Seagate has did a partnership deal with Xbox, which is why it's so stupidly expensive. Yeah. But once the deal's out and now like other competitors are going in, which I'm hoping this exists, because that would be so great. Because not only we have more options for the expansion cards and not face this whole Magic 8 PlayStation 2 memory card issue, but it just also means like we can get it for cheaper. Because we're constantly running out of space on our Xboxes. Also,
it's true.
It would mean that we can get even more space for the Xbox Series S, which, in my opinion, still works as a console, still fantastic, and I think if 4K isn't the thing, then it is indeed the future of Xbox. And once we get expansion cards for like more, then we can definitely get like more space for it. Because at the moment,
exactly. I mean, like, I feel like the Series S is ideal for most people, but if you get someone who's like, I want to play the Halo Master Chief Collection, I want to play Call of Duty, and I want to play Fortnite. It's like, oh, well, you have only a space for 2 of those games or 1 of those games on the Xbox Series S. Sorry. Like, the games are so big now. Like, some of them are literally the size of the hard drive on the Xbox Series S. I have a normal HDMI hard drive, like 2 gigabyte one that's plugged into the back of my Xbox, but I use that as just to swap games in and out as like a backup. But you can't play anything directly from it, which is a pain in the ass. So it's like I can only play games directly from the actual internal hard drive. So I have that as like a backup storage, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And it's like I'm always running out of space. I got the thing with Xbox Game Pass is like, ooh, I really want to try this game out, and it's like, oh, it's 40 gigs. I can't really fit it on my hard drive, and never mind, I won't bother downloading it. Like, you get that problem all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait for these expansion cards to come out. I'm gonna have to obviously wait and see if they're like faulty or anything. But if they're good quality, I'm definitely gonna buy one. Definitely, if it's a reasonable price.
Actually, right now it's like the highest you can get is 8 terabyte VME, which is equivalent of £1,000, which is the same price for 1 terabyte SSDs, 2.5 form factor in like 10 years ago. So SSDs are actually getting cheaper steadily. But I think given the inflation and everything, it's just like, I guess we can't get always all the future things and we have to like survive for baked beans.
I mean, I remember when the Xbox Series X and the PS5 came out, when they were both launching, we were like, Xbox is way better. We got proprietary hard. We can expand ours without having to unscrew everything and all this stuff. And now I'm looking at it like, I wish I had a PS5 like hard drive system. Like, I wish I could just put a new hard drive in myself. Like, why do I have to have this proprietary thing? I thought we had the better solution, but it turns out we didn't, because we're getting charged out the ass. We're getting so ripped off for the hard drive. It's like the PlayStation Vita had like exclusive memory cards for it, or was it the PSP? One of the consoles had exclusive memory cards, so you could you could only buy their memory cards, and they were like 100 quid. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Like the price of the bloody console. Ugh. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. Like as you were saying about like faulty ones and stuff. I remember like on my GameCube, I had like the like it seems like nothing now, but it was like 64 megabytes, which was like 7,000 memory blocks in the game. So literally could save every single GameCube game on there. I was like, yes, this is like I'm a god for my memory card on my GameCube. It was like literally like 20 times the size of a normal memory card, and it was like literally a tenner. And I'm like, I wish I could get something like that now for the Xbox. I really do. I just want unlimited memory because I like to store games. I like to keep games. As I was saying about game preservation, I like to preserve games as well. And it's very hard to do that when you haven't got much memory space. Sure. Yeah, frustrated. But that sounds cool. We need to know, I need more information. I need prices. I need to know when it's out. You know, give me it. Give me memory. Give me more memory.
Yeah. So at the moment, like we don't know when the SSDs are going to come, but we could be expecting petabyte drives to come out in the next 10 years, according to Samsung.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, it's just like it's either you go for a external hard drive that has like 2 terabytes, or you could go for the SSD. Like you'll be lucky enough to afford like a quarter of a, 250 gigabytes for quite a high price.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, as you say. Like, I remember, like I'm old enough to remember that I could just get a pen drive with like a 20 like megabytes on it, and be like, yes, this is amazing. Like I've lived in the area of like megabytes and stuff. Like, yeah, prices of hard drives and stuff always go down eventually. The problem is the priority thing is the Xbox has been out for 2 years. It hasn't gone down in price yet.
Yes.
So the fact that there's competition hopefully means that they'll go down in price. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So now we're going to talk about Sony talking shit and getting caught out by basically. Sony, you done messed up, boy. You're talking man's crap, and now you get caught out for it. Sorry, Sony. Jim Ryan, you messed up. So basically what happened was they announced when they were trying to get Xbox to stop buying Activision, they were saying Xbox and Sony are the only 2 high-end consoles in the business, and basically saying Nintendo doesn't count for high-end market. And then now that's backfired because now they go, oh, you know this high-end market you made up that's not already a thing? That means that you're a monopoly in Japan, because you have like 98% of the high-end market. So we're going to investigate you now, Sony, because you're an idiot. So you came up with this term that makes you look like you're a monopoly. They completely shot themselves in the foot. It's hilarious. I love it. I love karma. I just love a bit of karma. I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh.
I think, to be honest, like Sony has been so persistent to make sure Xbox doesn't get anything, and yet not realizing of their own problems. It's just like they're still behaving like Tories, like they're trying to cause other problems just to avoid their own problems.
Bloody Tories. I love that. I love that that's like an insult over here in the UK. Like Americans probably won't get that, but yeah, like we use Tories as an insult. Bloody Tories.
Said PlayStation, more like Tory's PlayStation.
Say the Tory PlayStation. Well, I mean, Jim Ryan does remind me of Boris Johnson, to be fair. They come the same kind of energy. Yeah, like it's Jim Ryan, man. Oh my god, this whole thing, man, is just
a circus.
I just want Xbox to get Activision now, and it's getting annoying. And it's just I do love it that Sony's getting investigated because they were talking mad rubbish. They were talking rubbish and they got caught out for saying it now. I do love the karma. And like I was saying to you before, is like what I would also love to happen now is that they go, we get Xbox, get Activision, and then they just go, oh, you know that 10-year deal? We're no longer giving you that because like you didn't accept it when the deal was on the table. Now you're only going to get like a year on bad terms. That's what I want to happen now. I want him to basically just go, because you're being stupid and being really like not even be like listening to us or actually giving us a chance to negotiate. You don't deserve a good deal. I'm sorry, they got the best deal they're going to get. I think they should basically take the deal away from him now. I think personally,
I
would feel bad for people on PlayStation, but there you go.
I was really, really hoping for this same effect applied to the current government in the UK because in the moment, dumpster fire. We don't want to go into specifics, but we're pretty much in a burning hell around, and it looks like it's just like, not great. But at least Sony is actually shooting themselves in the foot, and looks like we could gain more wins for Microsoft, but whatever. The question is, if Microsoft's going to end up giving out handhelds when anything happens to me? Uh-oh.
I'm hoping that they get this sorted soon anyway. But yeah, I just love the PlayStation. They're going to get investigated because they came up with a term that makes them look like the bad guys. If they didn't make up this term of high-end console market, they wouldn't be getting investigated. They basically made themselves a target, which is hilarious to me. It just makes me it's just so funny. It's so funny. Like, what you've done to yourself, you stupid. You're so stupid. Like, what are you doing?
Anyway, we got to move on.
Console wars. Yay.
On the grounds of Xbox, we also have what is known as the green controller. Right on the nose. Microsoft has unveiled a sustainable Remix Special Edition wireless controller. It's like, interesting. Is this Xbox Special Edition? Anyway, apparently, 1/3 of it has regrinded some reclaimed plastics, which means it's a new renewable controller which uses more recycled components. But it's actually... and is meant to be released on Earth Day for like 75 quid.
Oh, the price is a bit steep. 75 quid's a bit much. If it was 50 quid, I'd totally buy one. I think that's an awesome idea for a controller. Like an environmentally friendly controller that's like recycled materials. I think that's dope. But why is it more expensive than a regular controller that doesn't have all those things? I don't understand. That's weird. But no, I think it's a cool idea. I appreciate Xbox for doing such an interesting thing. I guess it costs them more to do it that way. That's why.
That's what's going to need to go to because, well, looking through this list, it just kind of reminds me of the game in Grounded, where you had to collect stems, blueberries, and everything to build this controller because it takes some design inspiration from nature, where it has a two-tone green facade, which drew on lichen found in the northwest forest, as well as the earthly grips of a topographic pattern, as well as the blue underside. And also, it takes the reclaimed materials, including plastic, and recycled it into those new shells for the controller. So, they also note that it results in controllers with subtle variations, and they're actually looking to implement this manufacturing technique over to the future Xbox controllers, should it ever work. So maybe it's just really good for the future. Did you think?
I like it. I think it's a really cool idea. I said the price is a bit much.
I think the controller is a really nice idea, and I just think it just kind of paves the way for the future if it works. But I think, to be honest, with any recycled materials, there's always a bit of a risk where it could have like degradation or anything like that. But we're just going to trust whether this is the way forward. But I think, to me, this one looks really nice. It reminds me of all this bamboo stuff I can get from Amazon. So it's kind of cool.
I definitely want to try it. It looks cool. I have to look in. I'm going to wait for the price to go down a bit. 75 quid's a bit too spicy for me. When it goes down to like 50 quid, I'll probably buy one.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, it's just like, it's interesting you didn't bring up vegan stuff because I think it's just like, like as if it's going for more vegan-based things or something like that. But I don't think they're just going into
I'm not going to eat the I'm not going to eat the controller, though. I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Vegan stuff.
Yeah.
It's made of butter.
Well, that's not butter.
Made of meat, like a ham controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vegans. Yeah, not a huge fan of vegan stuff. Not gonna lie. If you are a vegan, good for you.
But anyway,
not really
let's
my
move
thing.
on to the topic of the show, shall we?
It's time for the topic of the show.
Our topic of the show this week is Easter eggs, because it's Easter. Aren't we funny? Easter eggs and gaming.
Well, it's a special
What is your favorite
Easter.
Easter egg?
It's a special Easter topic, so we just like talk about Easter eggs in general and how we are finding it in Xbox games. And we're not exactly
it's
talking
delicious.
about the golden eggs from like Vampire Survivors, which you will see behind Larissa's background right now.
Ooh, I just like the. So we're not talking about chocolate eggs either. Like I like a good Cadbury's or a Buttons egg. Ooh,
I got a
chocolate
bunch
Buttons
anyway.
Easter egg. That's the one.
But the point is
I haven't had
that
any
Easter
Easter eggs
eggs
this
is
year.
one of
Let's buy
the
one.
biggest things in
Let's do
video games. And I think it's worth talking about it as a non-political kind of thing. So I think it'll be quite nice seeing it's going to be Easter Sunday coming up. So let me introduce you to the first Easter egg that comes for this game. So the first video game Easter egg in the video game history is an adventure. It's like based on the classic text game, and it involves going through the dungeon. However, there was a problem that many of the people who worked on the game were not credited. So I think one of them, Warren Robinette, has this like special hidden pixel where if you go through the certain exits and go through like northwest and do it in the sequence, you'll eventually like discover an Easter egg where it shows the credit given to this program just to acknowledge that he actually worked on the game. So, and this is an example of the first Easter egg because it hides a secret where you can discover something if you do the right things.
I might be wrong, but wasn't this in Ready Player One?
Yes.
I think this is like the last task they have to do in Ready Player One is they have to do that to get to win the prize at the end.
Yes.
With spoilers. I think that's a cool little thing, cool little Easter. I've only watched that film once, so I might, that's why I'm surprised I remembered that.
It's also
I like Easter eggs. Also, the book is probably better than the film, I would imagine. Which usually is the case. I was going to mention the Easter egg Ermac in Mortal Kombat, which I always thought was an interesting one. So in Mortal Kombat, they were like, if you play enough Mortal Kombat, there's a leaderboard thing, and at the end it says Ermac was one of the players, and people were like, "Ooh, who's this Ermac character?" And it turns out it was like, I can't remember what it stands for now. It's like something like it's just like something like manual, like electronic manual script or something like that. So it wasn't a character, but everyone thought Ermac was a real character in Mortal Kombat when it wasn't. It was just like some random like code. And it turns out that years later they go, you know what? Let's make Ermac into an actual character. So they turned the thing which wasn't a character into a character because of people. And it became a bit of an Easter egg in like the original games and stuff like that, which I thought was rad. I thought that was a really cool idea. It was really difficult to get him. Like I can't remember how you had to get him. It was like a really obscure way of getting him. But yeah, I thought that was a cool Easter egg. Also, you get like stuff like the Scorpion tank gun in Halo was always a fun Easter egg.
So we can
you
go
can
into
talk
those
about it if you
Xbox Easter eggs because there's a bunch we can talk about.
There's loads.
I know. But I think there's also some interesting Easter eggs. Like one of them, in certain games like Super Mario Land 2 and Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, if you do certain things, like if you wait in the house or you reach the game over screen of Super Mario Land 2, you just hear this Tanuka's song that plays out, and it's just like really simple melody. And you also find it in Animal Crossing. So I think that's quite a nice Easter egg by the sound composer.
I just see when you've said we're going to talk about Easter eggs, I had none in mind. Now I've got like thousands in my head. I've like got stuff just popping into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, there's an Easter egg in this. Oh, there's an Easter egg in this. I was going to mention, I think it's Far Cry 4. If you play Far Cry 4, the bad guy who's played by Troy Baker, he says, "Just wait here a second. I need to sort something out." And he goes, and then you're meant to just leave and just like go off and do your adventure. But apparently, if you just stay there for like 20 minutes or something, he comes back, goes, "Oh, thanks for waiting," and then that ends the game. Like he finishes the game for you.
Well, that reminds me, like in Devil May Cry 5,
beautiful one.
You have an undefeatable boss, and if you get defeated, you like get through the rest of the game. But if you do defeat the boss, game ends and give you a text-based credits. Yeah,
I love it. I love those type of stuff. I love the little Easter egg stuff.
Also, I did like insert Easter eggs in the games I make. I don't know the holes because there's a holes video which comes up and it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. But I don't remember if I put any Easter eggs into it. But I was involved in one of the university projects, which is known as Bits of Betty. Bits of Betty is one of the Gamer Camp projects, which I would say this is my favorite out of all the projects I worked on. And I was involved with the other artists to do art assets for the game. And there's also like programmers and the game designers. Right. So I did art for some of the things. I wasn't really that involved with the character design. Yeah. But I certainly like did visuals like intro, the endings, and some of the gameplay parts. But I think apparently like usually one of the other artists has been doing like background for the game. And it's like, oh, it's going to be in a cellar, disco or some sort. And then like, oh, now it has to be on the streets for the first level. And I was like going to volunteer for me to try doing the first background. So I did the one for the first level and apparently it fits the style better. So I thought, yeah, cool, it works. But as I was designing the streets, I just thought, maybe I'll give a shout out to one of the games I like. And so I just went in. Sorry, got a little bit went. Yeah. But there's a poster on the building on the right-hand side, which I should supply it during editing. But if you look at the poster, you see the poster that is a cube poster. And that's the one I drew. And this is like a reference to the Cube game by the guys from like University of Wales, Newport as well.
Yeah, we both.
I
did game tested on that game. They were great guys. They we both went to university with them. They made the game Cube. If you've played the game Cube, which is like Portal, it's made by the same people who went to university with us. And Mike Biffle went to university with us as well. So we had actually some quite good people in our course for the years.
Yeah, I think
I was going to mention that I also did Easter egg. I did an Easter egg in my end of year my final game project. So my final game was called Kidnap the Princess. The idea was you were a bad guy and you were trying to kidnap the princess. It was like a reverse Mario. And then the good guy has got like the Mega Mushroom from like New Super Mario Bros. Yeah. So it's basically got a giant sprite chasing you, and you're the bad guy trying to get away with the princess. That's the whole idea of the game. But there's a little Easter egg at the end of the game where you get to the credits that I made it so the princess chases you at the end. So you have a giant princess chasing you. And it's the other way around. So instead of going left to right, you go right to left, and it's the princess chasing you back, and it's got credits going over it. So that's a little Easter egg if you manage to complete the game as well. It's like a little, and that was like my end of year project. I only made like 5-6 levels, so I didn't make the full game, but I would love to have gone back and made that game. That game was so much fun.
I think I should throw the video link to it in the description. But I think we definitely need to look at old videos. Yeah, that's right. We definitely need to throw in a bunch of old clips for us to react to and talk about it in the 100th subscriber video. Oh, for sure. So that would be great.
That'd be good.
But do you think the princess was chasing the main character because she wants to start a family?
Maybe. I was just basically, I love Mario, and I just wanted to do like what was life like for Bowser? That was like my thinking. Like, what was it like to be the bad guy in there? I always like I had an idea for a game that I was going to make, which I have never made now. But I was thinking like you're a boss and you have your own boss room, and you just basically got to build it up before the hero gets there. And like you, so essentially, like you're like a Mega Man boss. You just got your own room. You got to just like try and plan. So it's almost like a tower defense game. You got to plan for the hero to arrive and see if you can survive him. That was like the idea. I've never got around to making it, but yeah, I've got so many ideas like that. I love making video games. I mean, that would be a cool thing to do, though. Maybe do that for 100 subscribers. We'll look back at our games and do a reaction.
Well, not just games,
like
our gameplay videos, because we did a bunch of them.
Yeah, sure.
And that includes, like, I did a VHS conversion and some other bits. So there's plenty of food right there for that video. Anyway.
You got loads of stuff to look at, yeah, for sure.
So... Anyway, I think before we move on to Xbox games with the Easter eggs, I think there's like a bunch of Easter eggs around our channel that if you pay attention to our videos, you might see something that you may not notice. So I think there's a couple of like Easter eggs in the videos. So if you have a look through them and you guess what it is, then you might be able to like figure out what it is. So...
I try and put little Easter eggs and stuff whenever I make stuff as well. It's always fun to do stuff like that. But obviously, you're the only one who ever notices it most of the time.
Easter eggs are great. End off.
It's a good concept. So we're going to talk about Xbox Easter eggs as well, yeah. So I just remembered one from years ago, and I can't remember how it exactly works. I think it's Gears of War 3. If you shoot down a certain pipe, I think, like a couple of times, a giant golden chicken comes out and tries to kill you. This is like right at the beginning. Like Marcus is a farmer. Like it's like literally like the first or second chapter of Gears of War 3. I need to look it up. It's been so long since I've done that Easter egg. It was a funny Easter egg though. I used to love that for sure. I think it's called like a golden chicken anyway. Hilarious. It breathes fire as well, if I remember.
Holy
so random.
Shoot. I was looking up Easter eggs on the internet, and somehow there's apparently a Easter egg in the original Xbox that I think, according to this, I definitely heard of this before. I may have forgot about it, but there's a secret credit screen hiding in the background, and therefore you just have to like put in like how you do the CD soundtrack and you name a certain track. And then once the CD is ripped, then you can just go to the settings menu, go to system info, and you can definitely show the credits of who built this up.
There's a Halo one where I can't remember exactly what it was. It's like you've got to go on a certain day and you push down certain buttons and in the load menu says happy birthday to one of the developers' like girlfriends. You had
really?
You put if you like push code, it says happy birthday in Halo 3. It's like a little hidden Easter egg. And there's also the Easter egg in Halo 3 where there's a guy's face on the moon. Like they literally put his picture of himself on the moon. If you like zoom in with a sniper rifle, you can see the guy's face. It's like so many weird Easter eggs like that in Halo. I love them. They're brilliant. Like hidden rooms and stuff where like there's like the developers in there. It's like all these little hidden things. It's brilliant.
Also, there's a couple of Easter eggs on the Xbox Series X that if you look beneath the Xbox Series X, you notice it's got a tiny text of it's in like, hello from Seattle. And then there's a power unit that if you can see it on there, it says it's located at the bottom of the PSU unit, and you can see Master Chief's helmet there. So it's quite clever.
Yeah, apparently, like I think there's like a picture of Master Chief in the actual Xbox as well, if I remember. Like on the, I don't know if it's on the motherboard or if it's on like some kind of like something like an internal part of the system that has a Master Chief logo on it. I was also just remembered as well. I think it was on the Switch. They have like a hidden. You can have the file for the game Tennis hidden on there. He was hidden on there by Iwata before he passed away. So it was a nice little thing to look back on because of Iwata. It was like a nice little look back to that as well. Nice little Easter egg. So it's like his game was like hidden in the background of the Nintendo Switch. So you can't access it, but it's like hidden in the files, which is interesting.
Anyway, I think it's just like
Tennis.
There's Dom's Tomatoes and like Gears of War.
That's the one.
And there's like a lot of like, yeah, that's right. And then there's like.
That's the one I was on about.
But I think the Halo's just got loads of Easter eggs too. Like Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter appeared as voice cameos in Halo 4. But before that, there's like Halo 3. And if you go around doing level 2, which you could go into the bunker, and you go to a certain area, you hear like one of the workers is talking to someone behind the door. And it has voice actors from the Red vs. Blue machinima. It changes depending on the difficulty, but that's just a tip of the iceberg to all those other Easter eggs. And it seems even Bungie loves doing Easter eggs too.
I love it. So many good Easter eggs. There's so many good Easter eggs. Like I've lost count like throughout the years. And they even have achievements tied to Easter eggs a lot of the time in Halo. Like you'd have to go back and like look them up and how to do them. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love a good Easter egg. Yes, we're at Easter time. It's weird to think that it's about Jesus being born again, and it's turned into chocolate eggs and Easter eggs in video games. See how that thing?
Well, I think it's based on some kind of Celtic or some sort like that, because it just refers to the goddess of fertility or some sort like that. And you have eggs, rabbits. It just represents more fertility, and it just seems really good for spring. So I don't think this is just a Christian type of holiday. I think there's also a bit of Celtic or pagan into it as well. So it's kind of good.
Well, I know it's completely off topic, but it just always makes me. I always think of this episode of South Park where basically it's like, have you ever seen the Da Vinci Code? It's just basically like they're saying like the reason that we have bunnies and paint eggs and stuff is because the Pope's actually a bunny. So it's like a conspiracy theory, and then the bunny there used to be a Pope bunny and stuff. It's like ridiculous. It's like it's basically the Da Vinci Code, and there's like Randy Stan's dad's dressed up as a giant bunny and stuff. It's random. I love it though. That's all I ever think about whenever I think of Easter and Easter bunnies and stuff. It makes no sense. Love it though.
Well, I kind of like dressed up as a bunny girl for this episode, but then, I mean, I
already got cat ears.
So, but then I already got as far as like wearing a hoodie with the Pumpkin Pete on it. So, sorry, I was going to give
I've just got my head on the table wrestling shit on because I've been watching WrestleMania. I'm so tired. It was WrestleMania weekend this week, so they had Saturday night was one night, Saturday and then Sunday night, and then Monday, and he had the Raw after Mania. So that's literally 3 nights in a row. I had to stay to like 5 o'clock recording because I do wrestling reactions, so I'm very tired. Gotta love wrestling though, love it. Sorry, that's off topic as well, but I just thought I'd mention it.
But anyway, so I think it's just like I think we're just gonna start to wrap this up. But when it comes to Easter eggs, like, what would you think will make an excellent Easter egg in the video game?
Something that's very difficult to find, but it's also quite humorous. If it's like, I like to have an Easter egg that's quite funny. At the end of the day, I love a good Easter egg. I would love you guys in the comments below if it's an Easter egg that we haven't mentioned that you know of. That we haven't mentioned. I would love to hear about it, and like if you just let us know in the comments below. Like so many good Easter eggs. I'm sure there's some I hadn't even thought of that like I've done in the past.
But what really makes a good Easter egg for you?
As I said, so it's very difficult to find, but it's funny and it's like and it's like yeah, that's basically. It has to be quite humorous and it has to be quite tricky to find. But I think if you do that, it's worth it. You know, it doesn't have to be anything super like complicated. Something simple, like, simple Easter eggs work. You know, just like happy birthday to someone is funny. You know, I think that's pretty nice. Yeah, you know, put all the Easter eggs in there. You know, I mean, what do you want from an Easter egg? What do you think? The same question to you.
I think it's just something to do with like hiding the puzzle, and if you were to figure out how to activate the Easter egg, it should give you a huge award and something that just like gives you appreciation for even caring about the game's history. I mean, I think one of the really good ones that I don't know. I was like thinking of another Easter egg, and I think you just have to like go through the certain things in the game, and then if you find it, you can like explore something weird and humorous, and you feel great about it. In fact, really good Easter eggs in like near a Tournamania, but I think it's more of a cheat that if you stand close to a couple of oil bins and like near, and it's like near Automania, and if you stand there and you input this cheat code, you'll be able to skip most of the game, and it brings you to the achievement shop where you can buy all the achievements. So because of those things, you can actually get all the achievements within a matter of hours. But the first part where you had to do the cheat code in front of the bins, it requires someone to actually figure out, and it took years of like knowing if there's a secret in it. So I think when done well, I think the secret is something that is completely worth it.
Yeah, I just love the ones where it's like someone that goes, "Oh, you know this game that's like 20 years old? We've just discovered a new hidden secret in there." Those are the type of ones I love, where you would like basically like they've been undiscovered for decades and someone finds them. Like I love like really well hidden ones, but like you know that are still possible to find. I love that for sure.
Anyway, we shall move on to last and final topic, which is asking you a question. I have a question for you, Chief.
Go ahead, Alice. What is my final question? Shoot.
Well, I was gonna originally like let you ask me a question for a change, but then first of all, we're gonna like bring this out of it. So now, for this last question, what would you feel would make a fantastic Easter egg in any game that relates to you? Like, if you feel there's a video game and comes up with an Easter egg, what would you think this will be a fantastic Easter egg that honors you as a legend?
Me as a legend, I know I'm a legend, of course. But no, so it's a reference to me. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Something to do with like put like a potato with a beard on it or something, or like maybe have have one of my reactions like on a video in the game or something, or on the wall. I'd be going. Like that. That'd be funny. I don't know. I really thought about it. That's it's an interesting question. Yeah, if you can get my potato logo in somewhere, that'd be interesting. Or like a potato with a beard on it. I'm trying to think of anything like famous quotes I have. Like if I have like a famous quote, that'd be quite cool to hear that back in the game. I don't really think I have any. I'm trying to think now off the top of my head.
I just think your facial reactions and everything is what really makes for a good inclusion than the voice lines. But yeah, it's just
for sure.
But I think there's definitely things like Bird Jesus and I think it's like this Too Sweet or some sort. I don't know.
Too Sweet. Yeah, Potato Club. Too Sweet. Yeah, those are references I always make every episode. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
my Drew McIntyre. That's like my new one
for me.
The Scottish wrestler.
Yeah. There's only one word for what a perfect Easter egg that references me.
Oh, go on then.
holes.
Oh, yeah.
I made holes on April the 1st, and it involves a black cat called Wa, which you can see the gameplay video on our channel right now. I think it's just perfect that every April Fools, we have Wa and the holes and being referenced in anything, and it just celebrates the fact I made a game to release on April the 1st. Not that anyone cares, but I just think it's just something that makes it more special, I guess. It's just a very obscure thing that nobody seems to care about apart from my family. But then if it's being referenced in some way, especially April Fools, then I think it's just more than perfect enough for me.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to be referenced. I think you'd be loved to be referenced in Ruby, probably.
Me? I think the closest thing I would get referenced in Ruby would be me voice acting one of the characters. I can either do Tyrion or some sort, or even voice Marigold, but it depends on how much Caden knows me.
Yeah, I would just love to be in WWE at some point, or just any wrestling promotion. That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be awesome.
Totally.
Fingers crossed. So that's my answer for the podcast. Yeah, I think that's it for this week, I guess, right?
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. We had a really fun episode again this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you have any cool Easter eggs you can think of, let us know in the comments below. There's probably loads that we haven't thought about, but if you can think of some really cool ones, I will let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, too sweet. There's guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.